guys, what's going on? Zach here coming at you today in RAID Shadow Legends. A quick bonus video for you guys. I'm not alone. I'm joined by LeilaFox. Leila, welcome back to the channel. How you doing?
Hey guys, what's going on? Hopefully you're going to enjoy what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, we get some big news here. I saw Hell Hades is calling this the best patch ever. And I have to say, Leila, I'm kind of inclined to agree here. I'm curious to get your thoughts because we haven't really talked about it personally yet. So we'll be right off the cuff here. We have a new patch update. We weren't really expecting anything given the state of, Plarium, Ukraine, the world. But they came through for us not only with a new Fragment Summon, right? Fragment Summon champion.
Yeah, there's a new Fragment champ coming too, yeah.
And we also have a major, massive quality of life update. So let's just get right into it here. We have saved team updates. So we already have like the AI customization, the save team, stuff like that. We're already all familiar with that stuff. But now we're going to be able to go in there into the team setup and change skill priorities for each round of the battle, which doesn't sound like much, or maybe it does to some of you guys, but to me, man, I've been wanting something like this for a while now. There's a lot more to get to, but first off, Leila, thoughts on this, the new team setup. Basically, you're going to be able to go in there and select round 1, 2, or 3, and then skill instructions specific to each of those rounds in the battle.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, particularly because you're thinking whatever content you're running, the different stages we run into, like immediately kind of like thinks in my head is depending on where you are, I hate some of those Paragon waves where if you walk away and you forget about it, like that's the first that pops in my head. You could come back an hour later and you're stuck in a cycle and you're like, oh my God. If you had known, you could fix that or set something up for that wave.
I'm sure we've all been there. We had to have been, right? Like everybody watching right now, you had to have gotten the Paragon cheese where you put your phone aside, or even worse, you have like the PC client open and you minimize it and you're like, 8 hours later, what? Or maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? Like that is the worst. So I love that. And then, there's so many occasions where you want a champion to use specific skills against like a Doom Tower boss or the red boss in Faction Wars, but you want them to use different skills against the waves, or you want to kind of A1 cycle on the second wave. You can go in there and do that now. That is incredible. I'm thinking of like Dark Fae, right? Going against Dark Fae, you always get wiped against your own team if you can't make sure that you have your skills off cooldown. No longer going to be an issue.
Love it. I think that's such a good idea because like you said with Dark Fae, already I manual the second wave just to make sure I have everything I need up against her. So you're right. Like if you can make sure that they just A1 or don't use the really important stuff on the second wave, you're all set and you don't have to worry about that.
It's really a game changer.
That's cool. I like it.
This a time saver in terms of, again, not having to take more of your time to go in there and go off auto or whatever. So there's more than that, though. There's also a Faction Wars update. A few things. First of all, multi-battles will be available in Faction Wars.
Yay.
I mean, I could be cynical and say about time, but I'm going to choose to be positive here, Leila, and say, awesome. Thank God.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's another one of those things. Like even, I don't know, you can raid in the car, right? Is it appropriate to raid in the car? Or is that, do you raid in the car, Leila?
When you're not driving though, guys, don't raid and drive. Don't raid and drive, guys.
Yeah.
Gotta put that out there.
Yeah,
don't raid and drive.
You don't have your phone in your lap and you hit replay. You don't do that. But anyway, some of you might have experienced, situations where, again, it's just a time sink. You have to constantly pay attention to your device. They're adding battles. Cool, right? But moreover, more importantly, super raids will also be coming to Faction Wars. Super exciting, right?
Oh my gosh, so exciting. Again, a time saver that we can just run once and get 2 rounds out of it instead. I mean, gosh, that's great. Love it.
I love these time-saving stuff because, we've been talking about it for about a year now, Leila, about the time, situations, issues in RAID Shadow Legends. But honestly, it's like they've actually, to their credit, they've added a lot, and they keep adding more. So I'm really, really happy to see it, So Super Raids will become available in Faction Wars as well. The details about Super Raids, how exactly they'll work, will be revealed a little bit later, which makes me a little bit hesitant. Because I just want them, I want my cake and I want to eat it too, Leila. I want them available all the time. What about you?
Yeah, I agree too. I hope it's not going to be every now and then. You know what I mean? I guess we'll have to see, if they're just going to cycle it or if they'll have special events with it. So you're right. Like I hope they decide to keep it all the time and not just cyclical or something.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're also getting a Drop Frenzy 2-time event for Speed, Artifacts, and Dragon's Lair, which is really
Yes.
great. You know, Speed
Hmm.
2-time event is a great time for people to spend some time in Dragon because everybody can use Speed Artifacts, especially
Yes.
early and mid game players, but really everybody, right?
I agree, definitely. I think that's going to be great considering I know like a lot of my audience is probably newer and like mid game. You know what I mean? They
Hmm.
definitely, who can't use speed, but definitely those people can too.
Yeah, so I loved seeing that as well. I
Hmm.
love, for me, I don't know about you, Layla, but are you loving the super raids? This is already in game, so you know that's the end of the quality of life update. By the way, I don't know
Hmm.
about you guys, but I'm like, it's not a huge update. I'm not sitting here telling you it is, but I agree with Hades. Do you like? It's one of the best.
It is.
Not for, I
It's
mean,
not
I'm
like a
so
massive one, but it's
yeah, like
good. It's really
give me
good.
Doom Tower over this patch. So I don't want to be too hyperbolic, but
Right, right,
it's a
right.
really good one. It's really good quality of life
Yes,
changes. Are you enjoying the keys, the super raids on Doom Tower?
I am. I am.
Me too. I love the super raids on Doom Tower. It's actually making me
Hmm.
farm Doom Tower bosses, whereas I used to
Yes.
not do it, you know? So I'm happy
Yep.
about that as well. Let's take a quick look before I let you go here, Layla, at the new Fragment Summon. So do you think this dude is gonna be any good? You are pretty familiar with the kit more than I am. We're gonna go ahead and read it here, but what do you think?
First, I gotta
Nari the
say they
Lucky.
kind of missed out on doing like a gnome faction. I mean, look at him. He's a leprechaun for God's sakes. Like it's so funny, like when you look at his face, except he does look like he's got like the dwarf beard, he's got like a leprechaun mask on. You know, it's funny. I just some of these champs, I'm like, you know what? We could have had some kind of fun faction with them, but that's fine. Put him in dwarf,
I
whatever.
guess he's a
We can use
dwarf. Yeah,
dwarves.
yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
funny.
Okay, so let's take out his kit. He looks interesting? Is he interesting? So his A1, steal a
Hmm.
random buff. His A2, Rainbow of Woe, probably can be booked down to a 3-turner. AoE with decreased accuracy and decreased resistance. It's
Hmm.
pretty strong. And then
Yep.
Irresistible Wealth is A3 and AoE attack with Provoke. It's probably going to be 100% on Provoke and a counterattack on this champion for 2 turns, leading
On
him
him,
into
yeah.
stealing more buffs on his A1. Joyful
Hmm.
Song is passive. At the start of this champion's turn, he transfers 1 random buff from a random enemy to a random ally. This champion's
Yes.
accuracy is increased by 5 for each buff on each target ally. Whew. All right, what do you think?
I'm already thinking, well, initially they had said they thought he'd be fun in Hydra. So I can definitely see that, especially with his passive, right? Trying to steal those buffs off of a
Yes.
Hydra head every single time and giving it to one of your allies. On top of his A1 on a chance to steal a buff from a target. So we already have, was it like two? Two right there, like two
Yep.
buffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty
Yeah.
good. You know, decreased accuracy and decreased resist on a 3-turn cooldown. I'm assuming on an
Hmm.
AOE, like that's very unique, and that alone
Yeah.
makes me want to go for him. You know, but to your point, he's bringing a lot more to the table too. Is he a end game changer? I
Yeah, I
don't
don't know
think
about that.
so, but I do think he's worth going for pretty much everybody. You know, providing you have the resources
Right.
and whatnot.
And he is a fragment, so also keep in mind, guys, so he should be easier to get than just a traditional fusion. So
Yeah.
that hopefully should be easier. And looking at the decreased resistance, I think we talked about this last time. It seems recently in the last update and this update, they were doing more stuff with resistance, right? Like
Yeah.
we saw that with Beauregard, having, the resistance buffs, or even something new epics
Yep.
that, we're just doing, you're seeing more stuff with resistance now. So it's really interesting to see where they're headed with this.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's the timing was right to add increase and decrease resistance to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying Beauregard. It kind of gives you more flexibility, right, on high resist teams or low
Yeah,
resist teams, or chopping down the resistance, helping your accuracy kind of
right.
passively, I guess. Anyway, guys, that's the news. Let us know how you feel about this patch, how
Mm-hmm.
you feel about this update, and certainly go check out LeilaFox's YouTube channel, her Twitter, her Twitch. All the information I can find on Leila will be in the show notes for you guys in the description below. Leila, thank you again for joining me. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad that we got to chat about this. And guys, I would love to know, are you excited for this guy? Are you going to go for
You
him?
going
Is
for
it a
him?
hard pass for you? I'd like to know. I'm going to go for him. I
Me
mean,
too.
I do all of them if I can,
We're going
so I
for
will.
him. Are you
We're
guys?
going for him.
Let us know. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.